What's up, guys? Welcome to Techraptor's E3 predictions video. We're going to be going over everything that we think is going to happen in E3, which most likely won't because we're never right. So yeah, with me, I know, is Andrew Otten. Say hi.
Hello.
Robert Grasso.
Good afternoon.
Tyler Clancy. And then our resident Kingdom Hearts expert, Andrew Stretch. Let's move on to Ubisoft Forward, which is also tomorrow at noon, right after the Wholesome Direct. I feel like Ubisoft already gave away their biggest game right now, which is Far Cry 6. I'm sure, I'll just give my predictions really quick. I don't think we'll see Skull and Bones, as it's already been reported that might have been rebooted again. I think we're going to see a trailer for that Assassin's Creed Watch Dogs Legion stuff. And I don't know, maybe what's that stupid game that they showed like years ago that everyone was hyped about that was pretty old? Beyond Good and Evil
2
yeah
is one.
Oh yeah, I think we'll see that.
Oh yeah, that's
all of the hit record stuff there is still a little bit sketchy. But it's been so long since we've last seen it. I actually put this down for I don't think that we'll see from it. I think that that's gone into some weird holding pattern.
You're kind of speculating it's kind of going into that sort of production hell, that sort of horrible, that sort of nebulous air of like
it's circling the seas with Skull and Bones.
Well, and especially since Ubisoft was like they want to focus more on like bigger multiplayer things. I just don't see that game coming out anytime soon with the way they want to run their company now. So
I feel like Skull and Bones has a better chance of showing up than Beyond Good and Evil 2 at this point. And we already know it's not going to show up, so that tells you what I'm thinking. But I think Nick actually hit it on the head. Skull and Bones is being retooled to fit into what Ubisoft wants.
Yeah.
The only saving grace with it is that you got to remember Beyond Good and Evil 2 is technically a semi-independent production, because the developers behind it were basically got the go-ahead from Ubisoft to actually make the game. So they may have a lot more, it might be like an EA situation where they might have like a little bit more leeway in terms of like what they can create, so long as they're on vision and on time and all that stuff. But considering the developers are also notorious for like waiting a very long time to get stuff out, who the heck knows at this point?
Do you think we'll see Assassin's Creed at all?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. If not, like we're gonna see some like Valhalla remastered or something like that.
It's bound to be something. Like it has to be something relevant. If it's not a sequel, it's probably either like an announcement, like I don't know, maybe like Unity or Syndicate, like redone for next gen. Like a whoopsie, sorry for Unity. Let's try that again. Maybe.
No, they will ignore those. If we're gonna see a redo, it's gonna be like Ezio again, the trilogy of that.
Speaking of Unity. There's an Xbox patch for it. It now runs at 60 on a Series X, maybe the Series S as well. So
about dang time, it took too long.
I'm sure it's just going to be Valhalla DLC.
Yeah,
that's likely.
Most likely, because considering the development cycles that those games kind of go on, it's most likely either going to be expansion DLC for Valhalla, or maybe them announcing a sequel, maybe using a pre-render, just saying, "Hey, it's going to happen." Maybe not this year, but next.
I mean, I would love to see, since we're on Assassin's Creed right now, I would love to see a remake of Assassin's Creed 1. I feel like out of all of them, that one aged the worst and could probably use a fresh coat of paint.
Clearly we've got to get the Assassin's Creed PSP game running on Series X and PS5. Just bring that forward.
If they were to do that, I would say I hope they have a way for you to still play the original version, because as flawed as it is, I still say it's a great sort of proof of concept, and we kind of have to remember the foundation of which the whole franchise was built and then ignored for Origins going forward.
Any last thoughts on Ubisoft before we move on?
For Ubisoft, my want for me would be a new Rayman game, 2D or 3D. I don't care. I just love to see Rayman up there again. And for the greater audience, I'm kind of suspecting that we'll see another South Park game.
Maybe,
because both of those have continued to go well.
I almost wonder with the Netflix thing with Splinter Cell. Do you think we'll finally see a Splinter Cell game?
No, they're just going to include
Splinter Cell DLC for Valhalla.
God forbid.
The whole rights thing, but that whole thing is so weird. I doubt we're going to get like a full blown Splinter Cell sequel.
I would love a Splinter Cell game.
The one game that I would hope to see, and this is going to be a very niche pick, it's going to be like a sequel to Mario and Rabbids.
Oh, actually, there has been rumors about that.
Yeah,
it just went on sale, didn't it, for like $5 or something? So,
well, I don't know about the prices of it, but like the reason why I'm picking that is we already know Ubisoft has a pretty good relationship with Nintendo. You know, whenever Ubisoft has a press conference now, Miyamoto might show up out of nowhere. So, and that relationship does go a long way. You know, not just with like the games like Just Dance or anything like that, which they're still releasing Wii versions of as of last year, but all of the playing with their IP in a way that Nintendo would approve of, and having people that are clearly passionate within Ubisoft that know how to use that stuff. I think it's a good bet that we might see a sequel to that game, because that game is a very good hidden gem, I would say.
My predictions are very lukewarm. I don't want to get into anything personal or anything, whatever, but I've kind of written Ubisoft off personally in terms of my personal gaming habits when it comes to the model they've chosen to base their games around.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time anymore for any of the new Assassin's Creeds, any of their anything, even something I think I would even like Immortals Phoenix Rising. But my pie in the sky hope that I know is never going to happen is they give Starlink another fair shake. I'm that guy. I'm that one guy that says, please just take the stuff you did with Starlink, make a sequel, drop the toys to life platform, and just give me more spaceship stuff, please.
I have the Star Fox one in a box somewhere. I got it for like $5. I was like, why would I not take that?
Ubisoft sent me that along with like a bunch of those like toy spaceships, and I was like a kid again. I'm like, I got toy spaceships, and the game was actually pretty good. It still had the Ubisoft sandbox thing where there's like 4 or 5 fun things, but they make you do it 500 times to get anything around, so it was a little stretched. But
Andrew, anything you want to add?
Ubisoft?
Yeah.
No, other than they suck.
Great. We can do Devolver if we do it really quick, because the one right after Devolver is Xbox, and I feel like that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
Is there anything anybody? Yeah,
I think for the Devolver, the one consistent thing is that they're completely inconsistent.
Exactly.
Yes.
No one's gonna know what the hell it is, but there's
Yeah.
gonna be at least one thing that everybody's gonna be like, that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
all I know is I'm getting a big old bag of popcorn whenever it goes down, because those guys know how to make
it's
a
great.
spectacle.
We got from a couple of their pre-release tweets. They have hidden in the background, not so slyly, Hotline Miami 3.
Oh my God.
So I think it's gonna be pretty consistent that we get that. And then again from the rumor mill, another game that I've seen getting tossed around that I wasn't 100% sure where we would see it is a Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. That I think if Devolver picked that up after the cult hype of Hatchiful Boyfriend, to start putting that out on a couple of consoles and stuff. I think
considering this is the same studio that actually
may show here.
I was about to say, considering this is the same studio that managed to get like a Western proper localization of Metal Wolf Chaos onto modern consoles, that is very much their brand.
Yeah, so I feel like Devolver's gonna have some pretty cool stuff.
I mean, the Fall Guys came out. Like, there's gonna be something.
Yeah,
they always do just interesting stuff.
I'm sorry, but like whatever Devolver does bring, we know it's going to be interesting at least. So we'll definitely have fun.
They're cool ideas, yeah.
And hopefully a lot of like weird puppetry, fake blood, and bizarre.
Someone's going to get murdered or survive being murdered.
Or bizarre spectacle with robots or something.
or murder themselves while surviving the murder.
Could be.
Devolver Digital showcases such a great palate cleanser, and I'm glad they've leaned into it more throughout these years.
Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty safe bet that there'll be something actually good from there. But let's move on to probably the safest bet for all of E3, Xbox and Bethesda. I feel like this is gonna be the biggest one. Next to Nintendo, obviously, but Nintendo, they can announce nothing and people will freak out over it, like they always do.
Oh, we're thinking about announcing something happening maybe next year. Fans go crazy.
So with Xbox, the biggest things right now that at least I can think of from the top of my head, we've got Halo, we've got Starlink, probably
Starfield.
Sorry, oh my god!
Don't give me hope, Nick.
They're gonna bring.
Don't give me hope.
Yeah, we've got Halo, Starfield, probably.
I would Forza.
Yeah,
probably
Forza,
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2. I'm sure we'll see some Gears thing because they keep pushing Gears 5. Maybe some new IPs. Maybe since they have a million studios, I'm sure we'll see a lot of logos of kind of coming soon.
There'll be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering whether we'd see Psychonauts 2 here, because we did just have the Day of the Dev, but for a Double Fine ran event, Double Fine themselves didn't show anything off. So I reckon we'll see some Psychonauts 2. There's been some bubbling about an Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds, which is on the
Outer Worlds. Either of those sequels would be awesome. But yeah, Outer Worlds too.
And aside from that, I'm just expecting to hear a whole lot of day one Game Pass being said. And I'm hoping to see this streaming stick that we keep hearing rumors about.
Real quick on Psychonauts, since that did kind of leak already. What was that, last week or 2 weeks ago? Where people were able to download it to their consoles already. I definitely think we're gonna see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it like a trailer, and at the end of the trailer, available now on Game Pass or something like that.
Day one drop would be huge.
I can see that happening.
I'm sure all of those people on Fig will be really happy.
I'll just sit here with my PS5 and no Xbox and just cry.
It's okay. Game Pass is on PC now.
Yeah, but Rare Replay still isn't on PC. Give me Rare Replay on PC.
Other than that,
go ahead.
Yeah, other than that, I think it's gonna be a Halo heavy show, especially since they really have to knock it out of the park with that one. I don't know if anyone noticed over last Christmas season, all the Halo Infinite toys and merch were for sale, but there's no game to go with it. So you could tell they were definitely banking on it, and then it just didn't happen. So I can see them just like 30% of the show being just Halo news, and So.
Yeah, in terms of the Halo specific rumors bubbling, we've now got leaked screenshots for the TV show appearing. But a whole bunch of people are saying online that it's going to be a very multiplayer focused showcase with a little bit of the campaign shown, and then they're going to drop a multiplayer available now for like people to go out and like give some stress testing to. I don't know what the validity in that, but at this point I've heard it from like 5 or 6 different.
It would be a savvy
online
choice to make, considering just how divisive and how poorly received the multiplayer was received for Halo 5, with just all the changes they did with the microtransactions. A lot of the fan base really rejected that, across multiple other things Halo 5 did. So the idea of this sort of drip feeding, this sort of like olive branch saying, hey, we listened, see how we've improved, that would be a good case of like sort of managing expectations and sort of showing, a level of dialogue, I suppose.
Yeah. I also think that we're going to see a studio acquisition, since they love holding those off for big events.
I've been reading anywhere from 2 to 5 acquisition announcements.
Yeah, I'm reading right now a rumor with
it's probably
IO.
gonna be bonkers.
Yeah, IO, Crytek, and Avalanche are supposedly the rumored ones that they're going to acquire. It would be nice to see if, maybe we can get some games out of some of these acquisitions. But
it's interesting because you mentioned the acquisitions. Within what was it, like the past 4 years now, they've acquired pretty much all of Bethesda. They've acquired Ninja Theory, Double Fine, Obsidian, Undead Labs, In Exile, Compulsion.
They have 23 studios now.
Yeah, they are actually like, they're in a position where there's a lot of games they can cover from a lot of studios people are familiar with that will likely get a showcase, if not a big showcase, at least like a minute or 2. I'm half expecting we're going to get an announcement for things like, Dishonored 3, for example. You know, because I feel like that's something Arcane Studios would do right under Bethesda, while they're going to showcase Starfield, which is going to be probably the big marquee, and then maybe a teaser for the next Elder Scrolls, or an expansion for the online thing. You know, I feel like we're going to be seeing things like whatever Ninja Theory's working on right now. I think it's like the another Hellblade game,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did announce a Hellblade 2, I think, back in 2017, I want to say.
So we're definitely gonna see that. We're gonna see probably the next Fable game, which is now being under control by Playground Games instead of Lionhead. You know, there's a lot that we can like really go into here, and I would love to see Rare do something besides Sea of Thieves at this point again as well. But that's me personally.
Honestly, if they just made like a new Banjo-Kazooie,
we want nuts and bolts too.
I actually feel like that's a miscalculation on Microsoft's part. They got so much right now with all the IPs. All of the studios they're sitting on right now. They could literally run the show if they announced half of the stuff we're talking about as pure exclusive just to the Xbox Series machines. We're already expecting it too. Starfield's already more than likely going to be exclusive at this point. The next Outer Worlds might be very exclusive here. You know, when was the last time a Bethesda game was actually released on the Nintendo Switch, when they were one of the biggest supporters of the Switch when it was launched? You know, we were already seeing that deck stack, even though they said they're not really going to do that. We all know they are eventually. Yeah. So it's just a matter of time, and that's a big catalog of good franchises, or at the very least very recognizable and bankable franchises that they can mine from for years.
Established brands, established IPs, built-in install base.
Yeah. To be frank, it's to the point where, you know, I haven't even bought a current generation system yet, mostly because I don't have the money, unless you count the Switch. But like, I'm not even considering the PlayStation 5. Just simply because I know of the star power that Microsoft has here, and Sony has dropped the ball on that. But that's a whole other conversation.
Andrew, do you have any final thoughts to take us out of Xbox here?
Well, other than to disagree with Robert, but
go right ahead.
No, I'm not going to devolve into that. I really wonder how they're going to balance the Bethesda and Xbox stuff if this all crammed into one, because both of them have a lot to say. I don't know if we're going to see any Obsidian stuff, because people mention Outer Worlds, but they've also got that other new IP they're working on that they teased, and I don't think we're going to see that, because that seemed like it's very early to me. But it's definitely going to be Halo heavy, and the most interesting thing to me to hear from it, since we know Halo already, basically, is going to be what studios they now own.
Yeah,
whoever that will be.
As a big Xbox guy, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Halo. That was a disappointment to me that didn't hit at launch. Mm-hmm. But I mean, God, there's so much. It's like choice paralysis. But also, I know that all of it's going to get downloaded because, I'm just gonna get excited for Game Pass. That's going to be my thing. I'm excited for.
It's the smart thing to do.
There's not one thing, so you're just going to go a la carte.
For me, it's Bright Memory. Yeah. That game they've shown off, I played the demo, I really liked it, and I'm excited to see what like a full game is like that. I think everyone should check it out. They really need to put it on Game Pass though, because it's like $7 for an hour demo is not worth it, but it's pretty fun. It's like Devil May Cry but a shooter. So yeah, Bright Memory, hopefully we see that come out this year, but I know only one guy is working on it, so yeah, it's kind of whatever. Tyler, what do you want to see? One sentence.
Conker's Bad Fur Day 2, done in the style of that Space Jam sequel everybody already hates.
There you go. Robert, what do you got?
Specific.
I don't know if I can top that. I'm gonna go basic. I'm very curious about what Starfield's gonna look like, so I'm hoping they actually show it.
And Andrew, take us out.
I don't have anything specific other than I hope there's something weird and surprising like Scalebound was, which we know got canceled, but just something that nobody's expecting. That's what I don't know any inkling what that will be, but I hope there's something like that because it's everything we said about Microsoft this is what we expect so far. So I want to see something new.
Well, I'm sure we'll all be very excited when a car races down from the sky onto the digital stage, and they tell us all about Forza.
Phil Spencer and Todd Howard sitting in the in it,
featuring the musical stylings of Andrew WK performing live on stage.
So yeah, let's go to the most exciting show of E3, the PC game show. In one sentence or less, I guess less would be nothing. Tell me what you are looking forward to at the PC game show. We'll just go in the same order as before. So Stretch, start us out.
I mean, nothing really ever. I'm looking forward to some cool indie titles, but nothing ever really stands out to me from the PC gaming show. I'm sure we'll get some cool hardware as well. But for me, I just want to see some weird indie stuff.
I just want to see more of 2 Point Campus. I love 2 Point Hospital, so more of that is more appreciated. And I'm sure we'll see more graphics cards that we'll never be able to buy because only bots can have graphics cards in 2021.
Gotta mine that crypto. Honestly, I would like to see more refined, more streamlined, and more affordable VR hardware that isn't tied to Facebook.
Yeah.
Oculus Quest 2. That's it.
Robert.
I'm looking forward for the PC game show to be over.
There it is.
Yeah, no, I honestly got nothing. I don't know what they'll show. I don't know. It's very hard, as you said, it's very hard to gauge it because it could be a myriad of things. So maybe we'll get surprised. Maybe it'll be something cool, but who knows? But it's usually not the best show on the block. I'm just going to say it.
Andrew?
I disagree with Robert again. It is the best show at E3.
It is.
And I know some stuff that's going to be there. I'm not a Dying Light fan, but I know Dying Light 2 is going to be there, and they're going to show a lot of that. So a bunch of people are going to be excited for that. And then we also know that there's something from Valve about Steam is going to be there. So I don't know what that is, but if Valve's waiting for the show to show it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the Steam handheld that keeps cropping up everywhere.
Yeah,
Artifact
there's that.
2.
Yeah.
Well, there was that rumor that they're making some kind of portable device.
Steam Pal.
Yeah. So if that's there, that'd be freaking weird.
Steam Buddy.
I'm pretty sure that's going to get as much mileage as the Steam boxes they tried making.
Although would they announce a
Steam
handheld
box
at the PC gaming show? That'd be weird.
I think it runs only PC games.
I guess, yeah. If it's
I'm sure that there will be a dock that you can then plug it in and connect your Steam controller.
It's probably just going to be
Steam
some
TV
Steam Link evolution.
I was about to say, how would that be any different from the NVIDIA Shield?
I don't think it would be.
Probably won't be.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll just be you're giving Valve your money instead of NVIDIA.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Bandai Namco, is there anything?
Bandai Namco is a weird one because they do a bunch of the Western releases for stuff. Like they'll handle the publishing side of it and distribution. So I don't. It could be all kinds of stuff.
I mean, Bandai Namco will probably see some Scarlet Nexus because I believe that's under them.
Maybe a bit
I'm
more.
hoping to see some Digimon Survive. And then there's also the rumors of the Arc Sys My Hero Academia fighting game.
I did hear about that.
Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z.
You know what we're gonna see at Bandai Namco?
Oh,
and I'm
my
stupid.
gosh.
We're gonna see Elden Ring because that's their game.
Oh yeah, they are publishing Elden Ring. I may see more of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of that. I'm just looking at Bandai's website right now to see what they have, if there's anything that's huge, and
all the website is it redirects you to eldenring.com, and there's Jeff Keighley's face just we'll get thumbs up.
We'll get this year's Dragon Ball game since they have to put out a Dragon Ball game every year.
Do you think there's a chance that we'll see more Tekken?
Possibly,
didn't they just put one out?
DLC, yeah. I think Tekken 7's on its third season of content.
It's been around a while.
Yeah, it's probably going to be supported. Honestly, I would like to see maybe a bit more footage of possibly even gameplay of more gameplay of Tales of Arise.
I wouldn't be surprised to see more of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at what Bandai has. Dark Pictures, but they already announced that.
Oh yeah, Dark Pictures House of Ashes. Yeah.
They've been doing a lot of publicity for that recently.
I think there might be a new Ni no Kuni talked about.
Possibly. That'd be
I mean,
cool.
they've done
Ni
well.
no 3D.
Well,
Yeah.
they haven't. People have been kind of talking about Studio Ghibli's involvement here and there.
Gosh,
So
Oh, we need more Ghibli involvement in this
every
E3.
Yeah.
game has mentioned
Perfect.
it.
just
It's
saying.
really Ghibli in style. It's like, this is a voxel game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of games they have, and it's all games I'm like never excited for, but I always end up playing. So I'm sure there'll be something cool. If not,
Oh yeah,
we'll see more.
there'll be something there.
What do you think we're gonna see at Square Enix this year?
I'm looking forward to finally seeing some Guardians of the Galaxy. That was
Yeah.
announced
Oh, that's
years ago. There's been talk that they've ripped all of the games as a service out of it after Marvel's Avengers and its PlayStation advantage of Spider-Man, who still isn't out. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Guardians, because I've heard Marvel single player, fantastic. So that'll be my cool thing that I'm looking forward to. It's not Final Fantasy or Nomura walking out on stage with a IV drip of concentrated Kingdom Hearts for me to purchase and inject directly into my veins.
I thought you were gonna say the IV drip they're keeping him alive with, since he's the one that's in charge of all of their projects.
That too.
I
Put
think
belts on everything.
I think we're gonna see. So just to kind of avoid the big elephant in the room, obviously we're gonna see Final Fantasy 16, maybe some sort of Kingdom Hearts thing. I think we're gonna see Outriders DLC. We're not gonna see Final Fantasy 7 or any Final Fantasy go to Xbox or PC. We're gonna see Avengers stuff because they won't let that one die. And I think we'll see probably a bunch of mobile games that no one is really interested in, but
So I
billions of
actually
people play 'em.
do think that this will be the event that we see them say Final Fantasy VII Remake out now on Game Pass.
Oh, I'd be so
Could be.
happy.
Yeah.
And then I also think that we're going to see those 2D HD remakes of Final Fantasy 1 through 6.
Oh my god, that look like Octopath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Since they announced that HD 2D thing for Dragon Quest 3 during the 35th anniversary. Yeah, that would.
And they've also just all of the previous mobile versions, which were based on the DS versions of the Final Fantasy games, have been renamed like Final Fantasy 3 HD, Final Fantasy 4. Oh, sorry, no, 3D. They've been renaming all of those, so I think that's a pretty safe.
I could see that.
But that was all the Final Fantasy that you will see.
I would actually love to see that personally.
I would love to see Final Fantasy 7 remake, intergrade, whatever, come to Xbox, just because as someone who's like a huge Final Fantasy 7 fan, it's so frustrating not being able to play it because I can't get a PS5.
DLC's fun.
I know.
if I ever get around to actually finishing Final Fantasy 7 original, maybe I'll get around to finally playing Intergrade.
Just play the new modes and have it on easy mode. It saves so much time.
Well, I have the HD port on Switch, but
there you go.
that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yeah, I wouldn't expect I would expect probably the maybe remastered edition older Final Fantasies, maybe in the collection, just a bunch of stuff. I really don't have too much expectation for Square Enix's show. I think a lot of the Dragon Quest stuff kind of overtook it, and aside from Final Fantasy 16, maybe a remaster, maybe a collection, maybe something to kind of regarner interest, since I get a feeling they're going to start pushing 16, and possibly more stuff involving Final Fantasy 14 and Walkers, probably.
Maybe Chrono Trigger. No, never gonna happen.
I like that if you just played this segment back, it's just a whole bunch of us saying numbers.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back and know exactly how many times we've said a number at some
I'll
point.
combo break that for you, because I got 2 games that I'm curious to see if they show, and 1 game.
You just said 2.
And
You're in it now.
I have a couple of games I'm curious to see if they will show, and a single game that I'm hoping that they would show, but I know they won't. The one that I hope they would ever show again is another Tactics Ogre game, because I would love to get back into Tactics Ogre. But I have a feeling that's never gonna happen.
No.
One can hope, but you never know. The 2 games that I'm hoping they show, because they did announce them previously, was Project Triangle Strategy. If you remember, that was like only a couple of months ago.
The greatest name for a game ever.
I believe it's only a working title, but like I'm very curious to see like some of the stuff they're
I hope
doing
it
because
sticks.
supposedly it's coming out next year.
Mhm.
And Forspoken. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember that one from Luminous Productions, which is also coming out next year, I believe. So, I would love to get more info on that because that game, I don't know, like something about that game really caught my eye when they first showed it off.
And-
like,
yeah.
go ahead, Nick.
No, I was to say that game actually looks like really cool. So I kind of hope we hear a bit more about that because, yeah, I feel like it might fly under the radar if they don't start promoting it a bit heavier.
Best I can describe it is like Breath of the Wild if it had non-cell shaded graphics.
And then Andrew, what do you have for us with your favorite developer?
I hope that we see more of the mobile battle royale.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
all
yeah.
those Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
VII.
mobile games.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
I want to be a
7
soldier.
Yeah,
That's in like Canadian open beta or something at the moment, right?
I
I
think so.
don't know. I don't care really.
All I know is that it's them just sort of re-tapping into that Final Fantasy VII nostalgia hype because it's supposed to be like
Ridiculous.
it's supposed to be set during like the Wutai Wars of 7,
Yep.
I think is the idea. Yeah.
the other game Andrew was talking about, it's like a essentially like a Dark Souls game. It's from the people who made Neo, and
There you go. That's
big-
right. It's the Neo people.
yeah, the big rumor is that it's a prequel to Final Fantasy 1, where you're gonna
Yes.
play as the bad guy. I forget
There
what his
we
name
go.
is.
Garland.
Garland. Yeah.
Garland, yeah.
And I feel like 15 had some DLC that kind of played kind of like a Dark Souls game, and they've kind of been picking at it a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a full on, Souls like.
Yeah, just a Neo styled game
Yeah.
set in Final Fantasy.
I mean,
That
they
sounds
did
cool.
have that weird Monster Hunter Final Fantasy that
World
didn't
of Final
really go
Fantasy,
anywhere.
Yeah.
No. This was Final Fantasy Explorers.
Explorers.
World of
sorry.
Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy Digimon.
Something or other. They have too many spin-offs.
Yeah, I feel like Square will have some pretty good stuff. Obviously, and we don't have to get too into it. They're gonna talk about Final Fantasy 16. I mean, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see some Kingdom Hearts a logo or something, and their stock price will go up. But besides that, let's get into the biggest one. My God, let's go into the biggest one to kind of close this out before we talk about EA. Nintendo. So since I know we can drone on forever, let's all just do 3 things we're excited for Nintendo, and then we'll just kind of power through it. Same order as before. Or do you have to go yet, Stretch? Or
No, I've still got like 5-10 minutes.
okay, cool. So we'll just start with you, and then if you just need to go out, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, biggest one, Breath of the Wild 2. Hoping to see that
Wait, hold
continuing
on.
on.
Let me intro
Oh,
into
yeah,
that
go
one
for it.
really quick. Yeah, so our probably the biggest thing at E3, even though I said that about Xbox, that's because I'm a fanboy of them. Nintendo, they're having Nintendo Direct. It's 40 minutes. They said it's software only, which means no Switch Pro, Super Switch, or whatever. But I'm curious to see what everybody thinks is going to come to it. So let's start with you, Stretch.
Yeah, I mean, what everyone's expecting is Breath of the Wild 2. Loving to hear more about that. I'm also really hoping we get more on some kind of Zelda collection for the big anniversary. I'm hoping we get some kind of 3D collection. I would love to be able to play Ocarina of Time that looks nice. And past that, what I would really love to see would be a new WarioWare title. I know that they kind of went into it with 1-2 Switch. That was practically a WarioWare without the title. But would love to see Wario eating garlic and back on the big screen.
I think for me, since I'm like a huge Game Boy shill, like I like make them for fun. I think I really want to see Game Boy Advance games come to the Switch somehow. Other than that, I think we're going to see Zelda stuff. If not, then I think people are going to start exploding in the streets. And then
I'm one of them.
yeah, I'm sure we'll see. Yeah, I really want to see some better stuff come to Nintendo Switch Online. So Game Boy Advance. I mean, DS games would be cool, but I feel like that would be a bit too difficult. And then my like long shot is that we see like N64 and GameCube games come to the Switch in some capacity.
Even if they started charging for it, at this point, people are just
Oh, yeah.
champing at the bit for it.
There's so many Game Boy games I would pay money for to play it on a Switch.
They could have been doing this for years. I don't think we're going to see that.
Yeah, that's why.
Some weird company decision they've decided not to do.
It's that quintessential Nintendo weirdness. It's like, why?
Yeah.
You know?
Other than
Seems so
that,
obvious.
I think we might see some Mario stuff. I feel like it's been a while since we've heard from that. Maybe
Well,
Mario movie.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that they're with the
Yeah, so
I
got
just
that
like
animated
Luigi
Mario
people.
movie. Yeah, Illumination. Yeah.
Tyler, what do you got?
Kind of echoing what Stretch said, I would love like a Zelda collection, like a Zelda 3D collection, anything, the retros, the olds, whatever, something to celebrate the anniversary that it's been on. As for anything specific, I know it's not going to happen, but maybe the announcement of it, maybe further development of Metroid Prime 4, even if it's just gameplay trailer or even like a pre-rendered thing, just maybe even a proof of concept, that would probably be enough for me. And pie in the sky, I doubt it's going to happen. I would probably get a kick out of it if they showed off a new JRPG from Monolith Software, like maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X coming to the Switch, or perhaps
Cool.
even a new JRPG from them.
That's too ambitious for Nintendo.
Never say never.
I know.
Never
Robert, what do
say
you got?
never.
All right. I echo everything that everyone said, but I'm going to pick a couple of different things just to make it nice and diverse. Splatoon 3, they're definitely going to show off more of that, I think. We know it's coming out. It actually, I believe it's like a to-be-determined date of next year sometime. So I guarantee they're probably going to have some demos
that
of
was
it.
even announced.
Yeah, well, everyone kind of forgot it was announced, but I didn't.
I didn't either.
Splatoon has become sort of a money-making franchise for Nintendo. And it's kind of amazing considering how oddball the concept is and how off base it is for them as a company. Like, they've never done multiplayer shooter games. They found a way to make it amazing for everybody.
If it was done badly, it would have been like the big video game version of how do you do, fellow kids? And yet somehow they pulled it off.
I think we're gonna see more from Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think that's the one that everyone's very curious about, where that's going, what it's going to look like, how it's going to play, especially because we have like this weird open world Zelda-like thing that they're doing with it. So I bet you they're going to use E3 as a showcase for that. I also think a safe bet would be new Smash characters for Smash Brothers, because we know that's coming too. Last one, and this is more so oddball, pie in the sky, never going to happen. I want an F-Zero game.
Oh my god.
Roberts.
How dare you?
No.
I be honest, like, I don't see them doing it because there's nothing they can do with that franchise at this point other than remake it.
Coming to mobile. They just announced the Doki Doki Literature thing on the IGN stream.
Hell yeah.
Oh, really?
Good.
Yes, we got one. Put it on the board.
There you go.
There we go.
Doki Doki Literature Club Plus.
Yeah.
Absolutely called it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, so Nintendo. I think most of it's been covered. I do think that we're going to see another like mainline Mario is a good shot. I mean, Odyssey is now almost 4 years old, which is weird to think of. That's kind of the timeline for the bigger Mario games. You know, they always have the stuff in between, like they had Mario Maker or their updates and remakes, like they had the 3D World and stuff like that. But that just came out. So everything's been covered, but what I'd really love to see is something in the Mario and Luigi series, the RPGs. That's my favorite thing. There hasn't been one in a while. The last thing it did was on 3DS. So something on the Switch would be sweet. And then my pie in the sky thing for Nintendo would be something next in, speaking of RPG, Super Mario RPG.
Oh my gosh.
Geno needs to come back. We need more Geno.
That'd be a good one.
It's never happening, but at That's always what I hope for.
And in that moment, a million Smash Bros. Fans cried out and were silenced.
Yeah. I wish.
We'll bring him as a sticker.
I think he already is a costume.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
know
isn't
what?
he,
We'll get-
I know he's a costume and he's also a spirit, but
yeah, he's a me costume in it right now. Damn it.
Capcom is another one that they're going to have an event. I don't know if anyone here is interested in that. For me, if it's not like Devil May Cry, I'm kind of checked out of Capcom for the most part.
we might get like new content for Village, but
Yeah,
anything else of note.
that's kind
Yeah.
of. Other than that, I don't see like. I mean, I guess obviously there's gonna be Monster Hunter stuff.
Yeah.
We'll probably see stuff for the Monster Hunter trailer that went out yesterday from Monster
yeah.
Hunter, the really hard name that took me 8 tries to get it on video.
I'm all over Monster Hunter Rise. If
Yeah.
they did more Monster Hunter, I eat that up.
We might see like Street Fighter 6 or something because they're kind of due for a new Street Fighter.
Considering,
They've
no, I wouldn't say so. I'd say considering Street Fighter 5 has become more of a platform more so than a sequel, I'd say it's probably gonna be just more DLC for 5. Just
They just did a big mess update thing with 5 last year. But
They've
maybe.
I see them like maybe doing a wrap-up DLC for next year or this year or something like that. With that, then they can focus on next generation, or they'll do a release for the next gen PS5 version of it with all the DLC currently intact or whatever. Or for those who bought it already for previous consoles, you get that upgrade for free.
free
or something
upgrade.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, my pie in the sky with Capcom, besides Devil May Cry 6, Dragon's Dogma. I would love to see a new one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's one that
That's an interesting choice.
such a good game.
It's a weird game, isn't it? Like I like it too a lot, but it is so.
It's
It's like a spaghetti western, only it's more of like a Japanese RPG. It's like a Japanese perspective of a Western RPG, and it's very strange in that regard.
Do you think we'll see Mega Man?
I
Possibly.
think something.
I only bring that up because that Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection came out. I can see them kind of doing that with all the old Mega Man X's. Not so much the original NES ones and stuff, but like it would be cool to see Mega Man X 1 through.
Well, they already have
man.
they already have the legacy collections for both the original Mega Man and X, so I think
That's
they're
true.
covered there.
Oh, and they're gonna have the Ace Attorney stuff. New Ace Attorney.
Right, the localization.
Yeah.
I'll just sit here and just wait until they do re-releases of the 2 Beautiful Joe games.
I just
You'll
know
be waiting a
that
while.
Mega Man Legends not going to happen. Sorry, hate to break your heart, everybody.
Sorry, Rutledge.
Nope, it's too much of a good thing there. I can also see maybe we'll see Resident Evil 4, maybe.
Oh, the
Maybe.
4 remake? The remake
I mean,
of
because
4?
if you played Village, clearly they're gonna reuse a lot of those assets for 4. But I think 4 got delayed or something a few months ago, so who knows? I need another reason to buy Resident Evil 4 since it's been the 10th time. So, any last thoughts on Capcom from anybody?
I mean, if you want pie in the sky, I know it's probably not going to happen because the franchise is dead now. Pun intended. Would be another Dead
Rising.
Rising. Thank you. Yeah.
That wasn't
I
that
was
long
thinking-
ago that we had a game in that. Really,
What was that?
it was only like 4 years ago, the last one. So it's not crazy.
That was like 17,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I know it's not
Yeah.
crazy, but like the last Dead
Wasn't
Rising
received well, but
was like a train wreck. Dead Rising
Yeah.
3 was not well received either.
And Dead Rising 4 was just kind of beating a dead horse at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it coming back, but I don't know where they can take it at this point. It's like one of those issues.
Crazy out there prediction for Capcom. We get a Resident 2 remake style revival of Dino Crisis.
I could see that happening.
Oh yeah.
I wish that would happen, but it's
Oh,
never
yeah.
going to.
I mean, I just want Dino Crisis 2 to get remade because I want more people to play the absolute fever dream that game is. So
And
here's
that
to
says
hoping.
something.
That game is
Considering that
insane.
console had a game literally called LSD Simulator.
All right, let's move on to our final before we go to our ending predictions here. EA Play is in July. Is there anything that you think is going to happen besides Battlefield 2042?
Honestly, if they don't announce like a remaster of the Dead Space trilogy, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're gonna see BioWare with Dragon Age and Mass Effect in some form, especially the new one coming up.
Probably.
I think that's a safe bet. The more interesting, I would say, prediction I would make, and because it's now starting to build up some steam, Dragon Age Origins and a Dragon Age 2 remaster in the same vein as the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect.
Yes, that might be a bit tricky considering Origins was built on the old Infinity engine, but if they can jigger that together, oh my gosh, it would be beautiful.
I think it might be possible, and I think the way I see that being possible is if they actually use what they've done with the Frostbite engine previously with Inquisition as the base.
It might be a better bet if they use like a modified version of Unreal 3, but that's just getting into the weeds. Yeah, we're getting in the weeds there.
Well, I think with the big EA hack, we're probably going to get an early edition of EA Play, if history ever
Could be.
Yeah. Other than that, any Star Wars?
There would be something.
Yeah.
Either it's Battlefront or they just today I think did the Fallen Order
next gen upgrade for
next
Fallen
gen
Order
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see the next one of that yet. It has not been long enough. I would like to, but I don't expect it.
It's weird. Ever since they lost the exclusivity license, the Star Wars games that EA has put out have been pretty good.
Yeah.
They had a lot of fire under their butts for them to start to figure out.
Hope we see something cool from Star Wars. I'm always down for that.
I would love like a proper Command and Conquer.
On RTS?
Yeah, that would be nice.
No way in hell is that happening.
No.
it'll be on mobile. Let's face it.
Yeah, something like that.
It'll be go to mobile.
Yeah, just remember, everybody, Origin cards are garbage from our fearless leader.
That's right.
All right, so let's go to the very final thing, and I'll let you guys go. So E3, there's always one big surprise announcement that kind of blows everyone away. And I'm curious what you think that will be. Give me one realistic one, and then one that's just like, if you were the CEO of video games, you would make this happen. So let's start with you, Tyler.
Oh, realistic one and then a crazy one. Huh?
Yeah.
I would say a realistic one. It would probably be further announcement of Microsoft potentially buying another mid-tier studio. Thinking, I'm kind of trying blank. I'm expecting more consolidation of established IP, because that seems to be what Microsoft has been doing, and possibly even a more long-term partnership with Nintendo. Possibly even, dare I say it, even a form of streaming service being brought to the Switch as part of Xbox Game Pass.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can actually see that potentially being a thing, considering how much they've interacted in the past. Pie in the sky, out there, insane prediction that I know is probably never going to happen. A major studio announces they have bought all the game IP rights from Konami, probably Sony, and we get a fancy, brand new, fresh restart of the Silent Hill franchise with Kojima back with the Silent Hills project, and maybe like a brand new Castlevania.
I could see Castlevania happening before Silent Hill just because of the success of the Netflix show.
The Netflix show, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of still very relevant in the zeitgeist right now. But yeah, those are pretty good. I guess I can do mine. I think the realistic thing, we're going to see if Microsoft or Sony is putting out whatever Kojima game is coming out next. I know Death Stranding Director's Cut was announced, but Kojima has been tweeting all of a sudden that he's working on something, and there's all these rumors that like Microsoft's going to them. They're not owned by Sony. A lot of people think that Kojima Productions is. And I could just totally see that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised in Microsoft, since they are in this buying frenzy, they give Kojima the money that he wants to actually just do something, and they have the kind of capital where they can let him
just give
be Kojima and spend 50 years making a game.
Just give him a blank check and carte blanche.
Yeah, everything I've heard like secondhand, it seems like Sony wasn't too thrilled with Death Stranding. And the fact that they haven't been quick to announce like, oh, we have Kojima here, it just seems a little weird. And then my actual like pie in the sky crazy thing Would be a new Switch. I really would love to see that Switch Super Switch or whatever they're gonna call it. I don't think we're gonna hear about that at all during E3. I think it's gonna be like closer to Christmas season, so they can get that, people to start buying it for Christmas. But that would be really cool. Or Jumping Flash VR, one of those two.
So my biggest thing, I mean, there's so much that I'm looking forward to, but I think one thing that could be shown at the Xbox event that could really shake everything up would be a deep dive into more of Deathloop. I think that would be an extremely alpha play on Xbox's side. And I would just want to watch the world burn as they show off their new PlayStation 5 console exclusive game.
All right, Robert, what do you got?
Ooh, there are a lot of choices. Okay. This might actually count as both pie in the sky and as like a big real surprise type of thing.
Mhm.
But Bethesda working on like Fallout and everything else, like we know they're probably going to announce Starfield. They announce it and they release it the next day.
Oh my god.
For the announcement. That would be like, you want to talk about power moves and stuff, that would be the power move right there, just for the Bethesda showcase aspect of it all.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like, that's the big announcement. That could be pie in the sky as well. If you want like even crazier ideas, pie in the sky, we get a full-on invasion of, the top franchises in Smash. I'm talking, we get Master Chief, we get Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, throw in Doom Guy, because everyone rumors that he's going to be in the next Smash anyway. There's your last DLC. We're just going deep into like, hey, here's our rivals. They're on our system now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go on record saying that's never gonna happen, but I've also been wrong before, because I never expected them to put Solid Snake or Banjo in there. So you never know.
Yeah, I never would have guessed Sephiroth would be in Smash Bros. Even after Cloud was in it. So yeah, I could totally see Fortnite guy coming in.
Oh,
I mean, a Minecraft Steve is in it. Or a Roblox character.
Now.
I mean, a Roblox character would make sense.
Nick, you make me feel so old. I hate you.
An Overwatch character would make sense, but that's like too pedestrian as a pick. Let's go for like the big franchises that you would never expect.
Master Chief, I would be shocked if Master Chief is not in it, just because it's just kind of a weird one. And Microsoft and Nintendo have this like, singularity now. So who knows? Yeah. Andrew, what do you got?
Pie in the sky, I don't know. Cyberpunk being purchasable on Sony.
That's a bit too crazy now.
You wound me.
You should have said Cyberpunk being good first.
How dare you?
Ouch.
Well,
it's not
if
bad.
they were having to fix so much stuff, I would have guessed some Cyberpunk news of some kind coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there will be now. I don't know. I don't really have any big pie in the sky things. I just want to be most of the stuff, because when you think of the pie in the sky stuff, it's stuff I know, and the stuff that I usually get most excited about is the stuff I have no idea about. Something new. We have a bunch of established franchises. I've seen all kinds of stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one that would be cool was the rumors of the Knights of the Old Republic stuff going around. Something like that would be amazing. I don't think it's happening, but it would be cool. That or Half-Life 3. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I'll mention it.
And it's delayed again.
That's the pie in the sky of pie in the skies. I think as crazy as some of those predictions are, they're actually all kind of rooted in something realistic.
Also, I would not be super surprised to see that Switch.
Yeah. I just don't know when they would do it, because they were like very clear to say our Nintendo Direct is software only.
But I mean,
but it's Nintendo.
Over and over again, I remember when Final Fantasy VII Remake, before that was announced, Square was up until like the week before saying, no, we're obviously not doing that. That's crazy. And then, and then next week they announced it. So
do you think if a new Switch came out, do you think they'd be crazy enough to be like, oh, and Zelda is not exclusive to this new Switch, but it's going to
No
be
way. No way would
significantly
they do
better.
that.
Oh no.
No, yeah, they would do it.
Oh, if it's significantly
They
better,
would do it.
I don't think they'd make it exclusive to.
No,
it.
no,
I wouldn't say exclusive. I think they would like put it on both platforms, like they've done it before with Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild. So
Yeah, I can see that.
I could see them saying that you can get Breath of the Wild 2 on this new Switch, but it will only work on this new Switch. I guarantee you they can do something like that because they did that with Xenoblade.
Oh, I just had a
Remember
thought from
that for the
Microsoft.
DLCs?
Damn,
What?
I want to see that Cuphead DLC.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Yeah.
people remember Cuphead. Thank you.
Yeah,
I forgot I bought like a shirt for that at my first E3.
yeah, we both did. I mean, you
Yeah.
did.
I keep thinking you can't. What the fuck?
Yeah, that DLC, especially since they just put the clip of the TV show out from Netflix. I would love
Oh,
to
yeah.
see the DLC.
They have a Tesla port of the game and they don't
Yeah.
have the DLC out yet. Like,
Oh,
what the hell?
yeah, they just announced like Wayne Brady is the voice of King Dice for the
Yeah.
show. Yeah,
So
It
that-
kind of fits, to be fair.
Yeah,
kinda
that I would
does,
love
yeah.
to see. I want to see that for sure.
Yeah, that would be.
at Microsoft.
Yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. I'm sure we'll find out that all of our predictions are true because we're your number one source for video games. And yeah, everybody, do you have one last thing to say, or should I just end this right now?
We were already right about one.
We were. See, and when you watch this, just come back and watch this every day, all the way through, and know that we're gonna be right about everything. So enjoy your Switch, your Super Switch, in a couple months.